This video will cover the Imports Exports tab on the Enterprise version. To import anything, you'll want to click on Import. First thing you want to do is select the record that you're importing. You can choose classes, faculty and staff, students, parents and guardians, volunteers, vendors, or deny access list. I will go ahead and do students, for example. The second part you'll need to do is browse for your file. It does need to be a CSV or an Excel file. If you are uploading the data for one school, you want to click on single school and then select your school. If you are uploading the data for multiple schools, please select multiple schools at the bottom here. After you've done that, go ahead and select Upload File and proceed to Import Mapping page. If you included the field name in the first header row, you'll want to not import that, so you will check this box, will not import the first file of data file. And I have included the header, so I will check that box. You will want to select Standard, Add, Modify, or New. Standard is the use of daily imports, so existing records that are not in the file will be deleted. Existing records that have been changed will be modified, and new records will be imported. You can also add modify. For the add modify, it is for the use to add new or modify records of existing records. All existing records will be preserved, nothing will be deleted, and new records will be imported and matched records will be modified. If you are going to import new, this is for the use of new schools or districts. All the records will be deleted and all records imported. So usually you will want to select Standard. Then you'll want to match up the field names on the left with the field names on the right. So this is what I have in my file here, and I'm going to go ahead and make sure that this is correct. So student ID first name, last name. I have the grade, which is my class name. And then I also have the school ID, so I'm going to put school ID. And then I'm going to press on Process Import. It should look something like this. It'll tell me what it's importing exactly, any errors, and I see that I have no errors. I have 30 records. So once you receive this, you'll want to click on Import Records. And if it imported successfully, it will say Import Finished, Status Completed, Import OK. Now let's go back to the Imports and Exports tab here. So if I click on Imports again, so the way you import will be the same for each of these groups here. You just need to make sure that it's an Excel file or a CSV file, and there are specific things that each group needs to have. So for example, the faculty and staff need to have the first name, the last name, the employee ID number, and the job classification. If you're importing classes, they need to have the class name, for example, first grade or just the number 1, or you can have a teacher's last name and the room number, such as Dawson 101. And in another column, you will need to have the employee ID that corresponds to the faculty and staff. For students, you need to have the first name, the last name, the student ID number, and the class name. For parents and guardians, you need to have the first name, the last name, the student ID number so that they are linked to the student, and the relationship to that student. Your volunteers need to have the first name, the last name, and the volunteer type. Please be aware that each piece of data does need to be in its own cell. So first name needs to have its own cell and last name needs to have its own cell. As long as you have those fields, you should be able to import it successfully. And that concludes this video. To access additional videos, please visit us at schoolcheckin.com.